So you're thinking about moving to Philadelphia or one of its suburbs? I love living in the Philadelphia suburbs, but despite the popular TV show, it ain't always sunny in Philadelphia or its suburbs. So this list is going to be a pros and cons list from someone who's lived here for about 25 years of my life. If that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Doug Bair here, the Philly Suburb Realtor. If this is your first time on the channel, you want to know what it's like to live, work, eat, sleep, and play right here in the suburbs of Philly, PA, hit that subscribe button and smash that bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video each week. And honestly, my team and I get calls every single day from people just like you who are looking to make the move here to Philadelphia or its suburbs. If you want to do that, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you want to get a hold of us, days, nights, and weekends. We got your back. We're moving to Philly suburbs. So this list is going to be all about the pros and cons of living in Philadelphia suburbs. And overall, I absolutely love living here. There's a lot of great things, but there are some things I can't stand either. So I'm going to start with pro number one, which is location. Now for location, I figured I'd just pull up a map here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if you look at the map here, I use Doylestown as the center point here, which is one of my more popular suburbs that people call me on and they're trying to move to. So I decided to use that as a middle point here. So you can see Doylestown's located north of Philadelphia. It's about an hour drive to the city. And what I love about and just the Philadelphia suburb location is, you know, obviously you have Philadelphia and everything the city has to offer. Right up here, there's Lehigh Valley. And just a little bit even further north are the Poconos, which is great vacation spot, easy weekend getaway. It's about an hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours from Doylestown. And right in here is actually Lake Wallenpaupack, one of the more popular areas. But there are so many great pockets of, you know, neighborhoods like Lake Ariel, a lot of small lakes, the large lake, Lake Wallenpaupack. And if you're into, you know, lake vacationing on a lake, or, you know, hiking, fishing, hunting, skiing, snowboarding in the winter, definitely a great area, the Poconos, if you've never been. Now the other thing is it's only about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, unless, you know, you got a lead foot, maybe you can get there in an hour 15 from New York City. So the other areas here as well, you have obviously Philadelphia, you have the Poconos, New York City, and then you're also only about 2 or so hours from, maybe 2.5 hours from all of the beaches in Jersey. So really nice, you know, not too far from a lot of things to do, you know, aside from everything there is to do in the Philadelphia suburbs. But for vacationing, you really only have to drive about 2 hours or so to get to a lot of different places. So con number one, the winters here are just so unpredictable and terrible. I don't mean that they're just cold all the time and that it's just awful with a ton of snow and all that kind of stuff. What I'm talking about is the inconsistency and the highs and lows of the temperature in the winter time. So for example, this past week, you know, it's early February, and this past week it went from the high 50s. 2 days later, in fact this morning, it actually is 13 degrees outside, and it was snowing yesterday. And then in 2 days, they're saying it's going to be back up to around 60 degrees. So the high and low, it kind of like, it almost like teases you, like, hey, spring's coming, and then, you know, drops down to 10 degrees, and it's like, just kidding. But that's something that I can't stand. I actually love winter. I'd rather just stay cold all the way throughout winter so I can go skate on a pond, play some hockey and stuff. But there's definitely, you know, highs and lows, and when it gets cold, it gets pretty cold. So that's one of the cons of living in the Philadelphia suburbs in my personal experience. Pro number two, there are so many different pockets and suburbs for different types of lifestyles. And what I mean by that is there's so many different areas. Some are awesome for families. That's you can almost not go wrong when it comes to school districts. The education is amazing here. So that's something obviously for families that's a big draw. The other thing, there's a lot of different areas like Conshohocken, West Conshohocken, King of Prussia. That's great for young professionals. So if you're a young professional moving here, there's definitely some great neighborhoods and suburbs for you to check out as well. And there's also, if you're an investor, there's a lot of different pockets that are great for investing. A lot of good cash flow and flip potential. This area that I'm in, the Souderton, Percy, Dublin, those areas really booming. So they're definitely growing like crazy, and a lot of growth opportunity for obviously appreciation and building that equity for your portfolio. Another thing that's awesome, I married into a hunting family. And despite telling them that I will get my license every single year, and every single year they ask me if I got my doe tags yet, I'm like, I'll do it next year. So there's a lot of great areas right around here for hunting and fishing. If you're an outdoorsy person like myself, there's a lot of different lakes, like in Doylestown that I'm talking about here is there's Lake Galena, which is at Peace Valley Park, which is just a huge, awesome lake. You're allowed to have kayaking, paddle boarding, those types of things. It's a really awesome place to kind of just sit in nature and have a good time with the family. They're out a picnic blanket, have some food out there. Really good time. And for all of you hunters out there, there's a lot of good places in Bucks County and up toward the Poconos again, as I mentioned earlier as well. So definitely check out a couple of these areas if you're really big into hunting and you're moving to this area. Reach out to me. I know where all the good spots are. You can ask my brother-in-law and father-in-law, and they know they've probably hunted all of them. So I can tell you where it's good and where it's not. So the next con are the roads here are really not that great. The roads, it seems to be every single year the same potholes at the same areas. They fix them and then they come back only the next winter. So don't know exactly how we haven't figured out how to fix potholes correctly or make our roads more drivable. So the next pro, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but the education here is fantastic. Especially in the Philadelphia area and Philadelphia suburbs, we actually have some of the top ranked school districts in the entire state, not just the area, but the state. So if you're looking for an area with good school districts and you have young kids like I am and trying to get settled in somewhere, definitely reach out to me. I'll help you out. I did a ton of research because I have two kids of my own that are about to, my daughter is going to be starting kindergarten or preschool next year. That's kind of crazy, but I've done all my homework on the schools in the area, and I've landed on a pretty good one. The next con are the tolls in the Pennsylvania Turnpike are very expensive and they keep rising. So if you're somebody who is going to be taking the Turnpike to and from work, definitely want to keep that in mind. The tolls are not the cheapest at all, and for some reason they keep going up. Don't know how the roads aren't getting any better for paying all these tolls, but that's just the reality of living in Pennsylvania. So another pro on the list is there's so many things to do. I kind of touched on this a little bit as well, but there's so many things to do in terms of parks, shopping, amusement parks, even with Dorney Park not too far up in Lehigh Valley. Couple zoos around like Elmwood Zoo, Norristown, Philadelphia Zoo obviously as well. A lot of different things to do with the family. And again, there are definitely a lot of more urban feeling suburbs and definitely a few of the living in the sticks. So depending on your lifestyle, there's definitely good areas for each lifestyle. Another con of living in the Philadelphia area, if you don't have road rage yet, you will absolutely develop it. We are not the greatest drivers. We're very aggressive. It's and I don't mean just, honking the horn. I'm talking like throw your hands up, make eye contact with them, and, give them one of these and flailing all around and just, yelling and having conversations with yourself in the car just because you're so mad somebody cut you off. And you'll probably encounter there's really two types of road ragers here. The ones that actually back up their road rage, that if you stare them down, they'll get out of the car, start approaching you, and then you have to decide if you're gonna deal with it or kind of drive away. Or there's some of those who get super mad, all flailing hands all around, start yelling. As soon as you look at them, they pull one of these. So that's another con in the area. Drivers are not the greatest and not the friendliest either, especially actually for some reason in a Wawa parking lot. If people are the nicest when you go in, they'll hold the door for you. oh, you got one thing, just go ahead, stand right in front of me. And as soon as you get into the parking lot, they're ready to run you over. I don't know what it is about Wawa that does that to people, but that's just how it is. So another pro, at least a pro for me for living here, I grew up in a sports family, love sports, played it my entire life, still play it. My kids are going to be playing if they want to, but definitely passionate sports city, and just the whole area in general. For the youth, there's a lot of great local leagues, great coaching, a lot of great training facilities around, depending which suburb and area you choose to live in. A lot of awesome opportunity for pretty much every sport, everything from soccer, basketball, hockey, football, to now there's disc golf courses popping up everywhere. So if you're a sports lover like I am, really awesome area, especially at the pro level. We are definitely known to be one of the more passionate fans, I guess. We have a reputation. If you come to a Philly game, specifically like a Birds game, if you show up in a Dallas Cowboys jersey for some reason, you're just asking to die. All right, not die, but you're asking for a lot of words to be thrown at you that I can't really say on this channel. So like I said, if you're a sports lover, definitely a pro for this area. We have awesome, Eagles obviously won the Super Bowl a few years back, beat Tom Brady, and the Flyers, the Sixers, Phillies. I'm actually a huge Flyers fan myself, so if any of the Flyers players, or if we're about to make some trades with the deadline coming up, if you need help finding a house, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. But yeah, the area is just awesome. If you're a sports fan or an athlete yourself, really awesome area. Definitely a pro for coming to Philadelphia or its suburbs. So if you are looking to move to Philadelphia or its suburbs, definitely reach out to us. Our team is here to help. We've helped a lot of families relocate, and we're still doing that. We love it. Give us a call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. Days, nights, and weekends. Again, we got your back. We're moving to Philly suburbs. See you soon.